Hey everybody, I am Steadfast, and I am back for another week of the CEA, and once again, I am joined by the handsome and talented Beowulf. Beowulf, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Steadfast. Well, handsome, talented, I think that's a bit of a stretch, but I appreciate the words of confidence. Anyways, I'm kind of happy. This is the first day this week that I've not had to get up at like 4:30 in the morning for Korean casts, so I'm wide awake. I have energy for this cast today. That makes it all the more worthwhile. So, Steadfast, we got a bit of a middle of the pack matchup today. We have Google Alpha Betastars versus the Microsoft Macrohards, and both teams are sitting at 1-1, so right smack dab in the middle of the pack. So that's going to be an interesting thing there. Of course, you win, you move up to upper half. You lose, you move down to the lower half. So there's certainly something to play for here. And I'm also being told that it looks like Google does some sort of internal stuff as well. And I'm really sad, Steadfast, because apparently one of the Google players made a song about cheesing that they are debuting today. And I have not seen it.
That is incredibly exciting and very, very cool to hear about, but very sad that we're not going to be listening to that. That's a bit of a shame. It's so funny, by the way. It throws me out because in the CEA, of course, it is the Corporate Esports Association, so it's more about building community and playing for charity and having a really great time. But that means that sometimes the players, they're not your GSL caliber players. You don't have a team full of 6K players or Grandmaster players. It's usually maybe a Masters player, maybe two, and then some Diamond players, some Platinum players, even some Gold League players. But now the last couple of weeks, I keep looking in these lobbies and seeing like 5, 6, 7 Masters borders, and I'm like, oh man, these teams are coming to play. And then I check the MMR, and I'm like, yes, the Masters League portrait bug. I too am extraordinarily humble. But yeah, so you have these situations where it looks a little bit funny, but they are still the grassroots players, the players that are, of course, full-time workers, full-time employees, and playing this on the side as much as they can. Now, that does not mean they don't put a ton of work into it. You and I both know that they put a ton of preparation into these matches.
Absolutely, they do. And I have been provided with the link to see what this song is happening. That's I don't know if I want to listen to this or not, but yeah, that's gonna be fun. It's kind of fun, Steadfast. You talk about not having it's Diamond Masters, whatever. I don't. You know what though? At least the higher level of the CE, we absolutely have tons and tons and tons of the high level players. I mean, we have Zero. We have a player who's even better than Zero. I'm forgetting the name of it at the moment, who've joined. So there is that upper echelon of not GSL talent maybe, but certainly extremely good talent. And I think Steadfast, it makes a lot of sense because there is a strong intersection between people who are awesome and intelligent and fun and good to talk to and people who are great at StarCraft. Look, I got my co-caster is a wonderful example of that. Paragons of humanity, and also happens to have a GM border sometimes. So I'm not surprised to see all these Masters borders around the absolute chads that are in the that are sitting here in our lobby right now. So
Yeah, no,
not surprised at all.
Sometimes is a good way of putting it. I managed to get it back for a day about a week ago, and then immediately proceeded to drop 200 MMR and drop right out of GM. But it was kind of neat because we were doing some casting for something, and I think it was ESL NA, and some of the players were like, "Oh wow, like I didn't know you were GM," and I was like, "Yeah, like yeah," and they were like, "Oh man," so like even to like max packs and like players like that, there is a difference between Masters and GM, even though it's bottom of the barrel GM. But that's enough of that. We're getting into a very interesting map here. What do you know about this one, Beowulf?
I know that the official version is hacked. This is what I've been heard when I was trying to get the lobbies set on up for this, make sure we have all the mods and everything set up appropriately. And apparently the official version gives one player like 9,000 resources at the start. So I know that much. So we're not going to see that much there. But outside of that, I think this is actually the first match, the first time that I've had the opportunity to cast this map. So I'm rather excited, Steadfast.
And I think it's going to be rather exciting. I too have never seen this map before, and we're seeing something very funny out of both players. We'll talk about that just in a little minute here, as we see spawning up in the top right, representing Microsoft Macrohard. It's Fuenkaze.
And his opponent in the bottom left in the blue for the Google Betastars, he is Nick.
And we had both players sending out one of their first probes across the map. And someone in the chat saying this is how PvP should be. You know, it's hard to argue with that. Oh my god. It's going to be a cannon rush versus proxy gates.
And this is the greediest possible cannon rush. This is not Nick starting on the low ground with a couple pylons. And this is there's a pylon in the main base. There's a pylon in the main base of Fuenkaze here. And he's aware of this, but of course, it's going to take a little bit to kill things. Wait, is he building a low...
What?
I'm pretty sure that... Okay, I've cast a lot of Max Packs. I've cast a lot of Nina. I am pretty sure that's not how you're supposed to cannon rush. Just as a... It's just an idea. But on the flip side, every single probe from Fuenkaze has been pulled off here, although one probe will go down. So, actually, wait, no, does that pylon on the high ground doesn't actually
not even
the low
close,
ground?
no. Oh, no, we didn't click his... Ah, they're not mining! Mine! Fuenkaze! Oh, God. Okay, so the correct response to this, for anyone wondering at home, if you get 3 probes on a cannon as it starts, it will not finish. In case you're curious, this is just pylons, by the way. Nick, he's walled himself in, but he can't actually get behind where he walled himself in. Oh my god, that repowered it. Okay. Wow. Now, Zealots. They are not being produced because he can't afford it. He can't afford it. He hasn't been mining at all. Oh, no.
But look at this. He has a pylon in his main base, and he is building a counter cannon rush. This is the Protoss anthem. I don't care what you're talking about. Yeah, we've seen less cheesy stuff over the last years. Sure, but no, this is the Protoss anthem. This is Protoss as it is meant to be played steadfast. As the cannons have breached the main base, they've breached the main base. So they've breached the Nexus. But now, it looks like something's happening on the far. Oh, it's just probes fighting probes. And looks like actually Fuenkaze's probe will go down. Meanwhile, the Nexus is getting targeted down here. Yeah, there's one pylon on the high ground, but that does not matter at all. I don't really know what Fuenkaze is supposed to do, but I think Nick's in a pretty good spot here.
Yes. His opponent will have, was it one Zealot? No, did he even build a Zealot? Nope. His opponent will have nothing, and he will be happy for it. Fuenkaze is, like, he's got 3 minerals right now, and this is just, it's all over. There's no chance. There it is.
GG. You said Fuenkaze has nothing. Well, he does have one thing. He has sadness and woe steadfast. Because I know of nothing in the game of StarCraft that is more tilt-worthy than a cannon rush. Maybe it's just because I'm Zerg and I've lost too many games to it. But yeah, cannons, you can win games without building a single unit.
Yeah?
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah. The cannons are the units. Why would you waste money on something that has to move around? Ugh. You have to build gas for your units? That's gross. That's gross. Ugh. Minerals only.
Minerals only. 20. What is it? Final destination, no items. Minerals only.
I love it.
I'm not a Smash guy.
No, yeah, no, it's Final destination, no items, Fox only.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. The true test of skill. What would you go for the map? Death Aura, minerals only. What was it? Final destination. Death Aura, no gas, cannons only. That would be the equivalent, I think. Or
yeah.
What's a obnoxiously cannon rushable map?
Over Death Aura was super cannon rushable. But it's what was it? Why I'm blanking on the map that was in the map pool for like 7 seasons. It had the 2 gold mineral bases outside, 3 like gold-ish mineral or goldish color scheme.
Overgrowth?
It was like, thank you. Yeah, I'm like, I can't
Oh
forget
wow,
the name
okay.
of this.
Yeah.
I feel like we're talking because I feel like Final Destination in part is because it's just the most common Smash platform map.
Yes, yeah. And there's
so,
nothing really special about it.
Yeah. So I think it's Overgrowth, Protoss, but Final Destination, no Terran, Final Destination, minerals only.
Yeah. Overgrowth, no gas, minerals only. Yeah.
Sounds like a plan. But now we got our second game. It's getting ready. We're not into it yet, but we will be eventually. And we got a random player Steadfast. Once again.
That we do. And that was Google going up 1-0 in that series. We're looking for Luigi to try and bring it back here and even things up for Microsoft. Microsoft and Google, that's we didn't talk about this too much, but that is a classic clash, not just of teams, but of actual companies. That is a very cool one that they're going toe to toe.
Absolutely. You know, Silicon Valley versus Redfield, or Redmond. There we go. Silicon Valley versus Redmond. Washington versus California. The two tech titans facing off. And now Steadfast.
Tech titans.
We got game 2.
That we do. And we have, looking at even the series at one apiece, representing Microsoft Macrohard, it's Luigi.
And his opponent in the bottom right, spawning as Zerg here, the random player for the Google Betastars. He is Tapirus. Tapirus?
I was wondering that. I was like, is it Tapirus or Tapirus? So playing against random, very, very tricky. It's not so bad for Zerg and Terran. Terran, you can get a little bit like. You got to be careful because if it's like TBT, you don't want to die to Proxy Reaper, so you might want to go with a double gas build, which is very ineffective against Zerg. But Protoss is the race that seems to struggle the most against random because of where to put that first pylon.
Yeah, that is true. I think this map gives you a little more safety, as apparently I'm struggling with the ability to talk, just with how choked off, how many multiple chokes there appear to be getting across the map. So maybe that's a little bit less scary, but of course, Tapirus not doing anything weird, just hatch gas pool. And I did look Steadfast. I pulled up my fancy little spreadsheet once again. We have no information on the pronunciation of this player's name, so we're gonna do whatever we want, and we're gonna mispronounce this as much as possible over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, however long this game goes. At the end of it, you won't even know we're talking about. It's going to be absolute. That's what casters do, right? That's absolutely the play here.
Well, absolutely. I mean, it's at that point, they're whatever you make it. Like Artosis used to call him, despite the fact that was not his name, he used to say Idra all the time. Like it was EYE-DRA, even though it was Idra. He was like Idra, E.G. Idra. And I remember back in the day, even HD StarCraft was like, well, they're called Coloxin.
Yeah, Mutt-Mutts. You got Mutt-Mutts, you got Tassels.
Heck Muffins. I like Heck Muffins, though.
I like Heck Muffins, too. Meanwhile, I get a little triggered when people talk about Phoenixes. I'm like, no, clearly they're Phoenicays. Like, talk about, let's do, no, that is the Greek root. When it's IX, it's A's. It's Phoenicays.
Couldn't it also be Pheni?
No, that'd be masculine plural, first person. So, in Latin, us-e, right? So, it might be, it could be maybe Phoenicae.
Phoenicae. I like Phoenicae.
But I believe it should be sorry, Phoenix. I'm pulling from the Greek here. It should or from the Latin. It should be Phoenicaes because it ends with the X. It's A's. And then someone who's a better Greek scholar than I am is going to pop up and say, "Oh, you're wrong, you idiots."
Did you even study classical Greek, nerd? You don't even know what it's called. And you're like, well, am I the nerd for not knowing as much? And they're like, shut up, nerd. And you're like, okay. I guess. So we are going to be seeing, by the way, a 1-1-1. Barracks coming down with the tech lab. Looks like it could be a... Oh, no. I love this build. Okay, this is going to be Concussive Shell Marauder Hellbat. Oh, it's a great build.
Wait, Steadfast, are you sure you don't just like this build because you're a Zerg and it's not all very good against you? Like, I don't know. I feel like, for the most part, with how the meta is worked out right now, and that being said, we do have Overlord speed on the way, so this will get scouted pretty fast. Reaper will go down as well. I almost feel like Hellbat builds, unless there's something really powerful to them, I almost feel like they are quite anachronistic, and as long as you get 7 queens, which most Zergs get anyways, they're not all that useful. So now with the Overlord, we'll stream on in here, and we'll see the fact, oh, he's going to get it perfectly. The Marauder's going to be popping out right as... Where'd the Marauder... Did he get picked up into the medevac? He did.
He put it right in the medevac.
Into the medevac.
That was
that
brilliant.
Is so smart.
Really, really well done there. Ooh, Liberator to follow this up. I love this actually a lot. Yeah, I really, really like this out of Luigi. All right. No Baneling Nest, no Spine Crawler, no Roachborn, but a ton of Lings.
Oh man, if he just jumped on these Hellions right now, that would be the absolute move. But we do have 5 queens on the map, and that is something that will be rather helpful, but they have not been pulled to the front already, so it's 3 queens actually helping out here, or 2 queens actually helping out, and 1 queen per base. And now this gets a little bit scarier with the Marauders here. Of course, any queen the Marauder tags, they will die. But, you know, as long as Tapirus can actually do what he wants. Oh, but he's going to get a good surround here. The medevac's actually not here. So we're already seeing one Hellbat died, 2 Hellbats has died, but all... And oh, the Marauders are dead too, which means this is actually not going to get anything done whatsoever. Sure, a couple Zerglings have died, but this is what I was talking about, right? This is not that great of a build as long as you have queens.
Well, I feel like if the medevac was there, it was healing up, and I think that should have gone so much better for Luigi with a little bit of better micro. I think that because he killed every single Ling almost immediately. It was just those ones that were in the back on the Marauders. But if you're picking those up, if you're picking the units up as this happens, I feel like this is all the Lings dead and then a ton of damage. But we're going to see this Liberator go into the natural. As
there we go.
Yeah, Hellbats move on forward.
And their queens are getting targeted down as well, not really kiting all that well. We do have 7 Banelings on the way and 6 Roaches, but the Banelings are just going to get canceled. And as much as I said, I don't think this is the best build. It is, it's working out here for our Terran player. The Hellbats, of course, are in the mineral line. Looks like the, the Liberator is in the main base, has killed a bunch of workers in and of itself, and this is suddenly actually just game-ending damage. Never mind.
Yeah, no, that was held. That was held almost entirely. And now, all of a sudden, 24 drones go down. And before this, oh man, even more this Liberator's got 19 kills. Taking a look at the battle report, so much has gone down for, honestly, a relatively small investment out of Tapirus. This has been really, really good.
Yeah, Steadfast, I got some bad news for you, though. This game's going to go another 20 minutes.
You think so?
Look at the 3 factories.
I see the 3 factories.
It's gonna be mech, and you know what? I get it, right? When you're playing mech, you want the game, you want to do damage early on to buy yourself that time, so the Zerg can't just take advantage of their superior economy before you're able to get into the swing of meching it happen. But I feel like maybe he's gonna go some sort of battle mech timing and really punish the damage. How is he getting this much done with 2 Hellions? This is ludicrous.
Yeah, that's a lot. That is a lot of damage right there. 6 drones. 6 drones for 2 Hellions, and he honestly could have found even a little bit more if he target fired just a little bit more effectively. But he's still going to be so happy with that damage. Oh, these SCVs.
They're repairing their rock steadfast.
They're trying. Wow, look at that damaged train. That is a cool model right there.
Steadfast, natural, please. Steadfast, look the natural.
Oh no. Oh no.
So yeah, we were talking about how this is game-ending damage that that Tapirus has suffered, but actually he's gonna get his natural absolutely shellacked here. And yes, there are tanks on the high ground, which means these Ravagers are not really gonna be able to find their way on up into the main base. But we're gonna see so many supply depots get targeted down, and our Terran player is going to get supply blocked to the ends of the earth. Now we do have a tank sieging on up once again, but come on, you can just bow that down, please. Bow the tank. Okay, no, he's not, but he will be able to deny the 3rd base for a good bit of time as well. Oh, look, more SCVs. They're there. They tried really hard to repair the crashed tank, but the tank, it was a little bit too crashed. So these Ravagers are doing so much good work. I would have liked to see them actually get on into the mineral line ASAP, so they could have gotten more SCVs, but they won't do that. And now, yeah, I think this game's equalized. I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely
the Banshee?
equalized.
The Ban-
Oh, he tried. He tried to bait it forward, but he didn't actually draw the Banshee into the fire. Okay, so you want to place the biles like here, stop for a moment, and then bait it forward. Oh,
Meanwhile, we have a counterpunch happening in the third.
Yeah.
This is two heavyweights just not holding back and say, look, okay, so when you start a boxing match or any sort of unarmed combat, right? The ref says make sure to defend yourself at all times, and that's what you see more often than not. That's not what happened. That's not what's happening in this game. You see two players, both heavyweights. They got weights in their boxing gloves, and they are just slugging at each other. No attempts to defend. No attempts to make sure that they don't get hit too hard. Just absolutely laying haymakers into their opponents' faces and just hoping one player is going to conk out first. That's the type of a game we got here, Steadfast.
Yeah, it certainly is, and that's not necessarily the best way to fight, and it's certainly going to lead to some very, very early careers, I think. But in a game of StarCraft, it ends with some very, very comedic games. And Topyrus, he's got a little bit of a money spending problem. He has been floating around 1,500, 2,000 minerals for quite a while. Doesn't have enough gas, and honestly, he could expand a couple more times, but a Terran player that is going mech and is on 4 bases is a bad time when the Zerg is on just 3.
Well, you know, Steadfast notionally here, Topyrus, he does have 4 bases. Just, well, he has 2 bases in his main base, so it doesn't really count. But, yeah, this is interesting. So we do see him sitting at a 200 supply available, as that's how he decided to spend some of his minerals. But now we do have mutas on the way, and that is a rather interesting decision. That being said, though, we do have 1 Thor out. Now, if he can magic box this appropriately, he's going to be fine and actually do a lot of damage here. But, of course, missile turrets are on the way, and is... How much... Okay, so now Topyrus is mining off of 3 gas, so that's something. But somehow, he hasn't bought a lot of gas-heavy stuff, and still he's only able to produce a grand total of 12 mutas here. So I don't know where his gas is going, to be totally honest.
I think he must have gotten some of his gases very late for mutas. But we're going to see him try and get in on this 4th base. One of the mutas will go down. That's a little bit pricey right there. Especially when you consider the fact that he is only on 3 base gas. And he's realistically not finding all that much damage. Where did the Thor go? Okay, it's just in the natural. It switched back from its high impact payload mode. Ooh, another Hellion run by. Not gonna find anything.
Yeah, this is one of the benefits of staying on 3 bases for a while. Okay, not that there are many, and certainly not in a game like this, but if you're sitting on 3 bases, actually in a map like this where you're kind of buttoned up, it's reminiscent of like a Death or a Romanticide in that way with how easy it is to take your 3 bases. But you won't really lose too much more. You can just keep your kind of army between your natural and your 3rd, and run-bys aren't going to get a whole lot done. I do like that cheeky little Widowmine burrow, though. But Steadfast, you know, the mutas are actually starting to get some damage done here. Although, please target that. Please kill the missile turret. Okay, he's just going to target down all the SCVs, and that's something, but he's lost too many mutas in the exchange. He could have lost none at all, but now the mutas, they're going to sit on here. 14, 15, just about 18 workers will go down, but now there's 2 Thors, Widowmines.
That was fine. Yeah.
They're not bad at all.
He killed 17 SCVs. My God. Topyrus, I've been a little bit critical of his spending, but he is, now he's added on that 4th base. He's going up to 70 drones, Hive on the way, no upgrades, which is a big problem because the Terran is already on 1-1 with +2 weapons now on the way. And, well, this is a pretty hefty mech push. Not a lot of Hellbats, though, which means that Lings and Banes can actually be pretty effective here. Actually, very effective, potentially.
Absolutely. Now, of course, they have to take that engagement before the tanks all siege up because suddenly, you know, things explode. And it's more difficult for players at this level to, like, you know, lead 1 or 2 Zerglings in to eat all the first tank shots or something. But now, oh, the mutas, they're getting... Oh, God, this is not going to be great. The mutas,
well,
of course,
they're magic boxing decently well, and they soak a lot of Thor shots. This is a total cleanup in favor of Topyrus.
Actually, you are right there. I saw the mutas that looked like they'd been aggroed in. And I'm like, oh god, this is not going to be good. They're going to clump up. But no, he actually did magic box at the last second. So it's actually going to be a-okay. That being said, though, Luigi, he's on 4 bases. Tapyrus barely on 4, 63, only 63 workers. And he held that. He did, absolutely. But he had 170 to about 120 army supply lead beforehand, or supply lead beforehand, and now the supplies are equalized. Now, that being said, though, he has such a big bank. 2K, 1.5K. Is he starved on... No, he's not starved on larva. He just doesn't know what to build.
Yeah, that is sometimes the tricky part of playing against mech. Is sometimes you can feel a little bit lost. And yeah, he's actually got 2 macro hatches, and he's got 28 larva. So he really, really has a lot of potential at any given moment to just explode. Oh, and look at this. This is something you don't often see against mech, but it is going to be an Ultra Cavern.
I feel like, though, with the Ultra Cavern plays, you generally do it when you are ahead in upgrades, like as a tempo play off of playing a very aggressive Needling Bane style where you have been trading and you've been killing tons of workers and killing bases and keeping the army of the Terran opponent low. Because honestly, Steadfast, Ultras against 2/2 or 3/3 Thors are kind of terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Surprisingly enough, because just, you know, the Thors, their hitboxes are so damn big that you're not getting any splash damage. It just doesn't work out whatsoever. But now these Hellions will get a little bit more damage done, and look how tanky they are. Of course, +1, oh, actually 1/1's now done, so that's not going to be an issue for much longer. But we do see Luigi, he is all-inning into the anti-mute attack. And that is one reason I do kind of like Tapyrus going for something that is not mute, that is not in the air anymore. And finally, we have it crackling. We have adrenal glands on the way. So that's going to be rather nice. And Tapyrus, I guess behind this, he wants to go for Broodlords. We do see Corruptors on the way. But, Steadfast, please tell me, just how good are Broodlords against Thors?
They are nope. They are an absolute never do it. Don't ever even think about it. The concept is enough to make a grown man cry. They are just awful against Thors. 3 Thors can beat like 8 Broodlords. Pretty easy.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, if you're lucky, I mean, if you're good with your Vipers and you can get a good Parasitic Bomb, Fungal, or not Parasitic Bomb, a good Blinding Cloud combo or something, yeah, you'll be able to make the fight kind of happen. But I know I personally I'm not good enough to do that, so, you know, I don't think that's the play that we're going to have here. And of course, it is +2 Carapace. It's also really weird that we're seeing Tapyrus go into Carapace instead of attack for his flyer upgrades. Yeah, sure, Corruptors they have a lot of armor, so they're getting even more armored. But it's not like they're battle cruisers on the map, something like that. And that's pretty much the only time you get +1 Carapace, unless you're just trying to go late game, get 3/3 attack upgrades, 3/3 Carapace upgrades for your air. Simply because, oh, okay, look at this, it's certainly close around, but it is blue flame. They all go way Steadfast.
Oh my god, they get a huge shot on the Lings and then get obliterated by Banelings, but there is not enough Ultras here. This is going to be a better trade than I expected, actually, for Tapyrus. He gets a good amount of these Thors, tanks, and Hellbats, and if he, remaxing on Ultras, this could actually be really, really good for him. He actually, all of a sudden, this is looking like an okay game, but he is likely to lose his 5th base, and that's going to be expensive.
I would love to see a couple mules get dropped just to repair these Thors. And yes, Steadfast, the only reason that fight actually went somewhat well for him is you saw the Thors actually targeting down the Mutas instead of the Ultras. So the Ultras were actually able to free fire for most of that fight, which is pretty useful for them. Now look at these. The Thors, they are firing strong. I'm actually surprised at how much damage they took just from a bunch of Ravagers with no Ravager upgrades. But anyway, this 5th base should go down. You are totally correct here, as we do have Tapyrus going for another upgrade as well, or another base as well. But now Luigi, his rally's getting got here. Ultra's getting on top of the tanks before they complete. And, well, the Corruptors are doing a good job of eventually killing off all of these Liberators. Ultras are just going to run right on past it. And suddenly, actually, Tapyrus is in a relatively solid spot. He did not even lose that base.
No, that was a very, very surprising revelation, I think, that 2/2 Ultras with chitinous plating just showed up and just obliterated him right there. And all of a sudden, it is Luigi in a lot of trouble right now. There is a Liberator that will get taken out. Second one going to go down as well. The Thors are getting surrounded by the Ultras. The Planetary Fortress isn't going to go down. It's so close. Oh, it will go down.
Wait, Steadfast, your game's not behind me, is it? I'm like, I don't know how that's possible. But the Planetary died for me like 30 seconds, or 10 seconds ago. Anyway, we have the Ultras will find their way on into the third base here. The SCVs on a little bit of a runabout as they try to run one away. But as the teammates in chat are saying, Ultralisks go nom, nom, nom. Look at all the Kaiser Blades just going snicker snack. Thus, the Jabberwock was slain.
By the way, I think
trying desperately.
I think your green screen may have fallen down there behind you.
Oh, no, I'm fine. I tilted my monitor up so I could cast better.
Oh, fair enough, fair enough.
It will be fixed in time for us to for the game to be over. But yeah, the SCVs, so 58 SCVs have died steadfast. 58 SCVs, and suddenly Luigi, he's sitting at an 87 supply to the 200 of his opponent, but he is going to put all of his eggs in this last Hellion run by basket, and you know it's going to be successful, but I don't know if 10 Hellions can kill 7 Ultras steadfast.
In theory, they could if you left them to their own devices long enough. But I don't think that that's going to be one of these scenarios.
Ultra's on hold position, just like, how long does it take for these Hellbats, or these Hellions, excuse me, to kill an Ultra? The answer is about forever and a day. Forever and a day, maybe even another night. They're getting choked up a little bit here. Louis, he's trying to do what he can, but he's just not making any sort of valid trades. And look at this, the 1 Ultra versus the 1 Planetary. I think the Planetary wins this, but the Planetary is going to take a good amount of damage in the exchange steadfast.
And he's going to actually he almost kills the Mule with coincidental splash damage, but not quite. 40 drones have gone down. Like, this is actually pretty good. But yeah, Luigi's got no economy. He now loses that Planetary. He's on 1 mineral patch. And, well, not for long.
Yeah, 5-0. No minerals left on the map here. Now we have the Ultras. They're going to come on in. Liberators are going to be the last hope here of Luigi. He's got a mineral bank, but he has no gas whatsoever. And look at this meat grinder. The Ultras are trying to find their way in, and they will just not be successful. So if Luigi is able to take like 27 more of those fights, maybe he's got a chance.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's going to be given 27 more of those fights without, his opponent taking literally every other base on the map.
Yeah, no. Topyrus, he took big losses from those Hellions, like 40 drones. And yeah, we can see the workers killed is over 100 for both players, which is quite something. But yeah, Topyrus, he rebuilt his drone count. He's back up to 66 workers. He's on, as you mentioned, is that 6 bases, 7 bases? No, that's
it's
6
N bases. It's 1E100 bases steadfast.
1E100, very good.
It's a Google basis.
And yeah, this is looking really, really nice right now for Google to go up 2-0 in this series.
Steadfast. I googled the results of this game, and it's not looking all that great for Microsoft.
Oh. Well, you certainly can't Microsoft the conclusion of this game.
And now the Ultras will come on, impact his 4th base. Is going to bounce off it with a little bit of a bing, and we'll be forced to go on into the natural. I'm sorry, that was the best chance that was the best version of whatever I had. It was not very good, but it's something.
That was pretty good.
But now the 3rd base will go down once again. Louis, it looks like he's going to try to maybe drop some mules on his the base that was his 3rd first and foremost. But more and more. Why are we getting so many? Oh.
Yeah, I'm confused about this too.
You know what? Here's my guess. He's just gonna dive on into the main base and like pee down the main command center.
I mean, sure, sounds good. By the way, these Widow Mines that were set up to deal with mutas about 10-15 minutes ago, they have done nothing since then. They have done nothing, and we do see this one sad solitary tank will get taken out before the fight happens, and GG is finally called. And, wow, that was something else right there.
That was in fact. It was looking so good for Luigi there when he got 21 workers early on in the game, but unfortunately, well, I'm reminded of the old action Jesus meme, right? Knock, who's there? 12 Zerglings in your base. Except it's not 12 Zerglings, it's 12 Ultras knocking down, surrounding your entire army. And I'd argue that as a Zerg player, I'd rather have 12 Ultras than 12 Zerglings, just in the balance of all things. But I don't know, maybe I'm just a little bit weird. Maybe I don't understand the game steadfast.
I mean, Zerglings are going to get into places that the Ultras just can't reach. So that's in terms of like if you had to try and escape from a Zergling or an Ultralisk in a horror movie, honestly, you'd probably have an easier time against the Ultra.
Yeah, I mean, although Ultras with Ultra Speed upgrade, they're still speedy fast. So
that is actually a good point. And we don't have Stim Pack here. Like at some point, I mean, realistically, like if you saw an Ultralisk or a Zergling coming at you, you would release so much adrenaline into your bloodstream automatically that you'd probably end up. It would probably end up being as though, you know, you had Stim Pack, but it would probably do about as much damage too in that scenario to your heart.
Yeah, probably. I think it's Steadfast. I think the answer is just like, okay, wait, never mind. I was told the wrong server. I have been lied to, Steadfast. But I think the answer is just crack. You know what? I'm terrible. I should never do this again. But I think the answer is just buckets of cocaine. Literally buckets of cocaine. Is the response to make sure that we can run away from Zerglings or speed ultras well enough.
This is the way. Yep. It's the only way. And well, we've had 2 weird maps to start things out. We've got a bit more of a conventional map coming up next. It's Submarine.
Is it conventional though? I mean, I think this Submarine probably has been the banned the most out of any single map in the entire map pool over the last for as long as it's been in the pro map circuit, because it's just so small and Zergs hate to play on it, Terrans hate to play on it, Protoss hate to play on it.
I would disagree. Terrans do not hate to play on it. They are very okay with playing on
Terrans are very okay with playing on it. The other 2 races hate it though, so
yeah, no, it's it's actually not my most hated map in the pool at all to play on. I don't even think it's second most hated for me, and I'm saying that as a Zerg player.
So Steadfast, tell me, what is your most hated? Wait, I thought I did that appropriately. I could have sworn I put imagination in there. Anyway,
one moment there. Just gotta correct the thing. There we go.
Sorry about that. Okay, so we got go.
I think it's actually Oxide.
You hate you know, if I was gonna guess, I would have, you know, say like Romanticide or something, just because of the ZVP matchup, right, with that double Stargate Void Ray into Cry. Because at least from what I've seen, it is Romanticide that kind of spawned that hellspawn of an idea, and then it propagated outwards onto Death Aura and onto Juggernaut and onto Oxide and onto literally every other map, but Submarine. But I don't know. That's just been my observations of how things have gone.
It's funny because there's depending on the map, there's some really difficult situations to deal with. So like Oxide, dealing with like 8 racks pushes is such a nightmare on that map. And then like you said, dealing with 3 base turtle on Romanticide or 4 base turtle on Death Aura versus Protoss, both of them very unpleasant. Submarine, yeah, it's very small, but you know, there's no nightmare positions that I really have to deal with, I feel. But I mean, enough of my griping and whining. Let's get into game number 3 here, as we have spawning up in the top left, representing the Google Betastars. It is the green Protoss player Macho Taco.
And his opponent in the bottom right, in the red, down 2-0, looking to take his team on the way back, put him on the comeback trail, the captain of the Microsoft Macrohard. He is Imagination.
And, well, it's going to be another PvP. No cannon rush slash craziness to start things off here. We are seeing an early-ish scout from Macho Taco, and a little bit of a check for proxies from Imagination, but nothing too crazy here. Nothing too crazy.
Oh, that's disappointing, Steadfast. I live for the crazy. I die by the crazy. And you're actually, that's more correct. I die by the crazy more than I live with the crazy. But that's just on ladder. When we're casting, we love the craziness as much as possible. But yeah, it's going to be 2 gate openers from both. Well, actually, no, this is going to be a 1 gate expand coming in from Imagination here. And look at this. Macho Taco, his probe is not in position. We're not going to see the crazy pylon block, cyber block, all those different blocks. Wait, is that a, that's not a full, never mind. Okay, never mind. I got excited. But yeah, we're not going to see the crazy memes of pylons and cybercores in your opponent's naturals, but it will be a 2 gate expand anyways, although the second gate from Imagination is just going to be a little bit slower.
Yeah, I'm confused by this and a little bit saddened because I thought we were going to see a very quick Nexus there, which I think, oh no.
This always happens, right? Whenever we have a player that goes and gets that they lag out, it's always the player that played in the previous game is what's happened when we've been watching this. Like when, as long as I've been casting CEA, I don't know what it is, but you know, say Macho Taco, he's going to be in the next. Say we go to game 4, Macho Taco or Imagination are going to be the players that lag on out.
Yeah, it do be like that. I like the should have gotten that Google Fiber comment. That's a good one.
Oh man, I would love Google Fiber. I'm on Comcast. It's kind of sad. Yeah, I know the internet at your house is just like insanely good. I'm very jealous of your esports house.
I'm a happy boy with that internet for sure. This is very weird, by the way. So Imagination did end up still going for a very quick Nexus. He actually cut his first 2 units in order to get that out and then started the Nexus.
But of course, we do have a pylon block here for Macho Taco, and well, he's supply blocked until just now. But look at this proxy, and he does not even bother trying to kill that off for a good bit of time here. It looks like, is that a, yeah, okay, so now it's second units of probing that, and the Stalker going to come on in there, but look at this steadfast proxy robo proxy gateway coming in for Macho Taco here, as he is feigning this idea that he is absolutely going to go for an expand build. Don't worry, don't look behind the curtain. Don't look at the man behind the curtain, steadfast. There's nothing to see here. He is truly the Wizard of Oz. Nothing more, nothing less. But now, we have a proxy robo, proxy gateway. It's going to be 3-gate robo will be the play here for Macho Taco. And he's just going to try to end this game rather early. Excuse me?
Yeah, that's a weird one. The shield battery, I wouldn't mind if it was a little bit closer, but maybe not the best usage. But this is going to be incredibly powerful. Now, is it just going to be for a War Prism, or are we going to see Immortal?
I would guess we're going to see Immortals because the warp in location is actually so close to the main base, to the natural here of Imagination, that he's not really going to get a whole lot out of having a Warp Prism too early on. I mean, yeah, you got Warp Prism micro functionality, but you won't get too much out of being able to warp on in. But oh, look at this. The Stalker sitting on the high ground, which means Macho Taco, for the moment, is going to take a inferior trade, but now he's going to find his way on in here, and I like this. He's got 1 Sentry, of course. He can pop Guardian Shield. That means you effectively have a +1 armor upgrade over your opponent just because of how the damage gets sunk there, and a Shield Battery Overcharge has already been forced. Now, if we look at things, ooh, Adepts will find their way into the natural. Now, the wall will be good. The wall will be good here, but if we look at how many gates, so it is 3 gates to 3 gates. It is robo to robo. So the longer this lasts for Imagination, the better it is going to be for him. Yes, Macho Taco has a powerful timing right now, but his opponent has equal production, and he has a second base.
Oh, and a force field not helping out all that much for Macho Taco. We will see this shield battery get taken down right there, but Imagination's doing a pretty good job holding on, and now the high ground Immortal, very helpful. Oh, he cannot squeeze through that gap. Oh no, that is a disaster right there. Now this will work out because it's kind of like acts like a turret on the high ground, but yeah, until a Warp Prism pops out, you can't get to the low ground. I don't think he can squeeze through.
Both players extremely supply blocked right now. It's not often you see that happen with both players, but nice a little bit of micro here from Macho Taco. He's going in, going out, and 4 more Stalkers have decided to join the fray, but I mean, this is just illustrating how damn... Please just go kill that Immortal. Like, it can't go anywhere, but I guess you also can just avoid it. But now the Warp Prism does go down, and Macho Taco, he has found this opening where actually he's going to be in a really good spot. Yes, the Shield Battery Overcharge goes up, but it will immediately get targeted down. The Immortal can't do anything, so it's just a bunch of Stalkers sitting here, and that means Imagination has to sacrifice one of his gateways, which means in the time that that's happening, he will lose his natural, and that is never a good thing, because that was the one advantage that he did have. Now, a gateway does get targeted down, but Well, it's only 1 game production here for Imagination now, so that means that means Macho Taco will have that production lead for the time being here. As Macho Taco, he is microing backwards, doing what he can, but he just doesn't have what he needs. As that Immortal, it's going to get targeted down. 1 Immortal to 0. Well, I guess 1 Immortal to 1 now. But I love this from Macho Taco. He's using the natural of his opponent. Yeah, he could just go off and kill it, target it down, but he's using it as somewhat of a force field, making it take longer for Imagination's army to really come to bear here, as there's no pylon on the natural. Not really. Now there's one again, and there we go. The base will get targeted down here. Immortal goes down. Macho Taco, he's looking like he's going to take Google Betastars to a 3-0 week.
Yeah, that was a very surprisingly quick set of games right there. And honestly, I think it seems like this was like a stomp, but all of the games were actually, except maybe that first one, but that was even then kind of a clash of coincidental strategies. Like both second and third game, Microsoft had their opportunities.
They absolutely did. Microsoft really looked in winning positions in both those games, but unfortunately, a little bit of building mispositioning in game number 3, a little bit of maybe a little bit of over-aggression, over-commitment in game number 2, meant that they did eventually. Google Betastars, they're sitting at 2-1. That puts them relatively near the top of the table. Actually, let me take a look at the standings. But that puts them near the top of the table here. Sure, there are some teams that are going to most likely going to go to. Actually, no one will go to 3-0 this week because I believe all the 2-0 teams are playing each other.
Ah.
Yes. So this will actually put them tied for first place.
Oh no. That means that it's guaranteed that there will be some teams that are 3-0.
Oh no, you're right. I can't do math. Anyways, you're right. So they're going to be tied for second place. Thank you, Swiss Bracket, for saving my terrible math abilities. I'm going to say thank you, Swiss Bracket, regardless of whether I was right or not, because that's just how these things go.
Yeah.
Oof.
And we're gonna see if the teams might play game number 4, just for fun. Who would that be? I think it would be another Protoss player versus Zero Knowledge Proof, who is a random player. So we could get a Protoss versus random. Yeah. So yeah, it looks like we're gonna play a friendly match for game number 4.
And that is actually the only map that is getting swapped out, because one thing we do talk about when we talk about the CEA is that they've got some pretty cool rules. One of them, of course, so let me get the server, is the fact that each team, has a map swap. So the way CEA actually goes and does things is they release the maps for every week, but there are 2 map options for everything but the ace match, right? So in game 1, for example, we played the game on 2000 atmospheres, but it could have been on Romanticide as well. Game 2 was on Eco Station, could have been Death, or game 3 Submarine, could have been Juggernaut. And this is actually the first time we're going to see that actually get used. So it actually is going to be Hard Rain is going to be our map instead of Lightshade, which was the default option.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm happy about that, because I don't think I've seen many maps or many games on Hard Rain. It's very reminiscent, just from the tile set mostly, of the map Heavy Rain.
You sure it's reminiscent because the name is almost identical?
I mean, that also plays a factor. But yeah, same tile set, very similar name, almost identical. Very different looking map overall. But in terms of like the layout, but it honestly just looks like they blew the map up. Like they made it like, an extra 30-40% larger. But it like a similar map, similar idea, just stretched out.
Yep, that would yeah, you're not wrong. Honestly, I don't remember Heavy Rain all that much, outside of feeling like it was just a very there's 0K proof. Feeling like it was a very mech favorite map, but I maybe think of a different one that had like the 3 discrete low ground channels. But anyway, I'm excited to see what we're gonna have happen here. It's gonna it. I think I've cast one game on this map thus far. Forget. It's an interesting map, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm not all that familiar with it.
So it has you kind of have you have your main and your natural pretty easily. Your third base not all that attacks. Yeah, no, yeah, it's a very much what CEA calls a fortress map. Although I guess they call it standard here. But the forward bases are actually relatively defensible. There's kind of an attack onto the left side of the third base that you can make use of. But that's fairly choked. You can actually it has destructible rocks, which is a rarity, which is something we don't see in ladder maps all that much anymore. So you can cut off the main attack path, and the fourth base is actually really looks like it's rather difficult to attack on into. So yeah, I expect to see something maybe a little bit more turtley here from these players.
I think there's a real good chance of a little bit of turtley play, but also on maps that are a little bit more bizarre, a little bit weird, a little bit more out there. We saw it on game number 1. Oftentimes that just leads to really funky games, and that's what we saw on game number 1 with the double proxies. Well, I mean, Cannon Rush versus Proxy 2-Gate Forge.
Yeah, Cannon Rush counts as a proxy.
Yeah, I think so too, especially since he built the first pylon in his opponent's main base.
Yeah, that's how you Cannon Rush, right, Steadfast? That's 100%. You don't build cannon. You don't do anything. You just say, I'm gonna put a cannon in my opponent's main base. I'm gonna hope he doesn't notice. Now, I have also no shame. I think we've all lost to the sneaky cannon that's actually in your main base, the Cannon Rush coming from a weird angle. But yeah, but now Steadfast, it's game number 5, and we never mind, we have a Protoss in this game. So Cannon Rush is still an opportunity.
Yeah, it's the sneaky tag is what gets you there. And we'll see in a moment, rocking that 13 pool tag. And representing the Google Betastars, spawning up in the top left on Hard Rain, it is the green Protoss player, Shogi.
And his opponent looking to take a map just here for some ego perspective, I guess. The random player spawning as Terran for the Microsoft Macrohard. He is Zero Knowledge Proof.
That's a fun name. I like the concept of Zero Knowledge Proof. That's like when at first I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's a thing. And wow, you actually spoke about a Cannon Rush. That's exactly what we're seeing.
I didn't think I was gonna be right.
No, neither did I. I didn't think you were either, especially against a random player. But I love the audacity of going for this against a random player. That is so fun. And where is he going to start the pylons? Ooh, looks like Zero Knowledge Proof is suspicious.
See, I almost wonder that, Zero Knowledge Proof, he's going to see this pylon going up behind his mineral line. And I almost feel like when you see a pylon there, it's kind of a fake out, right? Like you would, he's not going to get the wall. Okay, I'm just saying, man, that's a
no,
wall.
He is.
He's going to get it. He's going to get it. This
okay,
is
but
so
he needs
clearly
to
a practice.
I don't think he can re-wall this.
No, but he's going to get the cannon up in time.
Will he?
Oh, look at that.
I don't. Oh, wow, that bunker actually.
I'm just talking about the surface area. The probes won't be able to get on top of this in time.
I thought there was enough room for 3. Oh, man, this is a big problem.
This is such a big problem, and this is so very clearly a practice Cannon Rush, too. This is not I don't know what my opponent's going to do. I'm going to kill Cannon Rush. This is, please prevent that bunker from finishing. But anyway, this is actually really cool because look how the wall. This is not something you can do on most maps. This is something where Shogi went and actually sat on and took a look at this map a little bit and said, okay, where exactly is my
friendly game for in quotations? Oh man, in the repair service area, not good enough, and this is over. This is not happening.
I mean, who the hell Cannon rushes a Terran? Got to go. Not just GG. Got to go. I'm done with this. Shogi, he's gonna take game 4.
That's one of my favorite things from watching Stefano stream back in the day. He'd lose a game and then he'd say something like, unfortunately I have a previous engagement that I must attend. Sorry we couldn't finish this game. GG. But he'd be like down, 140 supply, totally dead. But it was like that's very funny. And we see a little bit of friendly banter there from Zero Knowledge Proof. Shogi with the pulls with the games.
Absolutely. So apparently this is a rematch from last season during the mixed play where Shogi got beaten a 2v2 and he's like, no, not happening again. Yeah, it's 1v1, but I got some revenge. I'm going to prepare cannon rush because again, that's not something that is possible on every map with that wall and location right there. So you've got to imagine he spent a little bit of time trying to figure out exactly how he was going to get that off. Kind of reminds you of the do you remember the SOS cannon rush on Frost that like broke the game for a week? It was a pro league match back in against I forget who it was against, but there was a little spot on Frost that overlooked the ramp and you could wall in. It was kind of the first time we saw this wall in cannon rush idea. It was on the high ground and you had cannons there that prevented all circulation between the main and the natural, and it killed every Zerg for like 2 weeks until Zergs learned to prepare for it. And that's kind of what it felt like here. You just had these very prepared cannon rush that just makes life miserable as all hell.
Yep, it sure does. Yeah, no, I actually, when you think of miserable cannon rush spots, or you talk about miserable cannon rush spots, I actually think of not that map. I think of Cloud Kingdom. Cloud Kingdom, there was a spot on the third base where you could build one pylon, and it actually walled in, and then you build a cannon, and the cannon pushed the probe out.
Oh God.
It was
I don't
one
remember
cannon
that
wall-in location.
That is miserable. But look, at least now pylons don't power the high ground from the low ground, so we don't have to deal with that anymore.
And no high ground warp-ins anyway. Yeah, people complain about Protoss, including me, in the current meta, and like they're like, ugh, it's so gross and obnoxious. Me too. But people don't realize how bad it was at the beginning. You could warp into the high ground. You had fast warp-in pylons just from the regular pylons. You had the ability to power to the high ground. So you could start a pylon low ground, cannon rush up to the high ground. There was so much busted crap that...
I mean, let's be fair, Steadfast. There was a bunch of busted crap for like okay, maybe not Zerg at the start. There was a reason why people were insanely shocked that Fruit Dealer won the first GSL. But anyway... There was a bunch of busted crap for every race. I mean, remember Swarm Host for Zerg. As much as I played a lot of Swarm Hosts, and I enjoyed getting my free wins against Protoss players. But anyway, and I would argue, honestly, Protoss is in a fairly good spot right now. Even if we do like to complain about Stargate play, that's just annoying. It's not it's not like busted to all hell. It's just really annoying and less interactive. But anyway, congratulations to Google Betastars. They won the week 4-0, although only 3 of those maps actually count. So... we're going to see them there up at the top of the table, 2-1, tied for second place with a bunch of other teams because we're only 3 weeks in and Swiss bracket takes a little bit longer to differentiate things.
Yeah, it's it takes a while to kind of show who are the really top performing teams. But I mean, you got to be happy about this as Google. This is their B team, and they're now sitting at 2-1. And a pretty convincing scoreline to do it. And, well, with that, I am going to be getting an audio-only interview with the captain of the other, of the Google team. So I wonder, can I actually bring him onto the call? Might be able to do that. But either way, going to go to a quick commercial break. May have Beowulf in the interview, may not. And we will be right back. So stick around. Hello, I am back, and well, it is not an issue with the webcam. It's just going to be an audio interview here. I'm joined by Alex M, the leader of the Google Betastars. First things first. I mean, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little about yourself and a little bit about the Google Betastars.
Sure. So you said part of it already. I'm Alex, or Alex M, captain of the Betastars. I've been playing for Google for a fairly long while on various StarCraft teams. I think I was actually way back in the AHCL days. So kind of like these company versus company tournaments. Thinks it's a good way of kind of keeping the scene going and having a reason to actually practice and play.
Oh, sorry, go on.
And Betastars. So we're the kind of the B team at Google. We kind of have a fairly well centralized process every season of everyone who's interested plays a couple of games, make sure they get a steady MMR, and then we kind of carve out teams of kind of different ranges of MMRs. So we've got a roughly like mid diamond to low masters range in our team. It's kind of how it's put together. There's some new players this season and some players who have been playing StarCraft and CEA and other tournaments for Google for a long while.
Awesome. Very cool. And I mean, that's cool that you've done that. You've been around then obviously quite a long time with Google, which is pretty awesome. Now you got the reins of the B team. So I mean, you guys are. Tell me a little bit about the charity that you guys are supporting. I know it's one of those ones that it goes across all the teams, but yeah, tell me about that a little bit.
So yeah, we're supporting Child's Play, and I don't know if I can talk that much about it actually. We've been supporting Child's Play, I think maybe actually since the start of AHCL, but it's been for a lot of seasons at this point. So it's kind of a favorite a lot of folks in the StarCraft community at Google. And it's kind of a choice we've made for all the teams. But it's pretty cool there, and I don't know if there's a whole lot more I can say about that, unfortunately.
No, that's fine. That's kind of put you on the spot. But that's cool. It's a good organization. I know they do a lot of good stuff, and at the end of the day, yeah, it's obviously great to support any charities. Now, you guys, you came in to this week. It was looking like on paper it was going to be a pretty even match, but you kind of swept the floor with Microsoft there. What did you guys put a lot of preparation into it, or was it just kind of things worked out luckily, or tell me a little bit about how the plan was going into this week and how I guess it turned out.
I think we got a little bit lucky. I was expecting a closer game. On paper, we had a slight MMR advantage, but we've been blessed with a lot of Protosses with a cheesy playstyle, and if the other player knows that this is coming, that can kind of negate a lot of MMR advantage. But we had a bit of practice during the week, a couple of warm-up games, and a good number of practice games yesterday. Kind of figure out some of the which builds to use, try to figure out some nasty cannon Russian proxy locations, but also try to balance out and make sure that we didn't actually cannon rush in every game. Don't want to be too predictable. And then that kind of worked out. Like I'm really happy with the CVT we had here, since we actually did a fair bit of practice in that yesterday, and there were some good adjustments today to actually get the win.
Oh, that's really big because yeah, that was a big turnaround game. He was down like 20 workers. Things were looking really rough for the Zerg player in that one, and then he turned it around, and then things kind of evened out, and then that big ultra tech switch was just devastating. Is that the kind of adjustments that you're talking about, or what was the big adjustment that you noticed between the practice games and today's game?
So one of the things we noticed yesterday was basically he was staying on Bane Ling for too long, and in the late game it just was not trading efficiently against. I mean, you could see that even a bit in this game against the Hellions and tanks and force and stuff like that. So the ultra transition was it came a lot sooner this time, and expansions were coming a bit sooner as well. But I think a big part here is just that the ultra transition happened way sooner than than in the practice games. And it's one of the things we talked about as a kind of important step here, not to stay on mid-game tech for too long.
Nice. That's really cool then that you guys were able to identify that and saw immediately results as a result of that. That's really awesome. And it goes to show the value of not just practice, but practicing in a constructive environment where you have like people to bounce ideas off of. So that's actually really cool and must be really gratifying for you guys as well, especially in a series where I mean, that would have gone to 1-1, and then things, you know, there's a little bit more pressure on the third player. You never know what happens, and it can definitely change the momentum. So that's pretty cool. Now you mentioned the cannon rush spots on the maps. How long did it take to discover those cannon rush spots on it was heavy or no, sorry, hard rain?
Hard rain.
And
I don't.
Music.
Sorry, go ahead.
Music automation or whatever, or
the 2000 atmospheres.
2000 atmospheres, yeah.
I wasn't actually involved in the prep for 2000 atmospheres, so I don't know about that one. Hard rain, we actually, like, before we decided which players to send out and before we sent the lineup in early this week, I was doing some testing there, and then I guess Shogi was doing fine-tuning of this. So actually, the spot we found before we decided that this was the strategy we were going to do is different from the one he actually used in the game.
Oh wow!
So I don't know if this is if we're gonna keep the real actual spots a secret or if this turned out to be a better spot. But it was. I don't know. It's kind of looking at the mini map and then like 30 minutes in game to try to figure out where can you wall off with pylons, where can you get enough space, like how do you cover the ramp and try to reach the main CC or the main Nexus or whatever at the same time. Some of it's just like going in against the AI and trying out a lot of the building placements.
That makes sense. Yeah, it's just a matter of kind of figuring that out, doing the labbing as it were. But that's cool that you guys were able to do that and really paid some big dividends in this series. Now, before I let you go, is there anyone you want to shout out on the team who is like, you were like, man, this guy like really, or girl or whatever, really like pulled their weight and was like a big contributor, or they did something special this week? Or multiple people, if you want to shout out multiple people.
I think this week it's really the whole team. Like we had a lot of even games and everyone prepared well. Everyone won their games, and like everyone had like no one had a huge MMR kind of disadvantage to fight against, but everyone played solidly against kind of equal MMR, or maybe from the friendly in game 4. So really, it's a shout out to the entire team. Like everyone did really well, played solidly in their games, and we kind of turned a narrow MMR advantage into a sweep, which is really cool.
Yeah, very very uncommon and very cool. And well, I mean, with that, congratulations to you guys. Hopefully we'll see you again soon. Be able to get a couple more of your games throughout the season. Good luck in the future, and thank you very much for joining me.
Cool. Thank you.
All right, and once again, that was Alex M, the leader of the Google Betastars, and fresh off of their clean sweep. And I'm going to bring on Beowulf. We're going to quickly sign off, and then we'll be transitioning into the Collegiate Esports Association with another couple of firecracker teams. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. I am rejoined once again by Beowulf, and we're just going to do a quick sign-off and take a little break, and we'll be right back with the next match. Who do we have coming up here, Beowulf?
We have a matchup of Titans, at least player or teams I assume to be Titans, Steadfast. We have the Zeratul. We have the CEA's first wildcard team going against the reigning champions, UCSD versus the Zeratul. Now, the Zeratul are kind of functionally Alpha X. A lot of their players are playing on that team, as you know, they're spread out across the country. So we got players like Hydra, we got players like Lucas Start, like Sippy Cup, like Exiled, which probably means nothing for a lot of people. But these are people that are relatively active within the Alpha X community. So I guess they kind of banded together, and they have some absolutely insane players on their roster too that I guess they're waiting to use until maybe the playoffs. Like we got Melody, who's a 5-point-something GM Zerg. Starkiller's on this team. Hydra's on this team, who's a GM Protoss player. So it's gonna be scary. Whichever team has to go on and face up against them, it's gonna be a scary time indeed.
Oh yeah, it's they are there's actually a clause in the rulebook in case the team is too good that they can, at the discretion of the league, because at the end of the day, this is meant to be about building community, about having fun, about enjoying things. There is a clause in the rulebook that this team can be disbanded by the admins if they turn to be too OP. Which, I mean, they're already at 2-0, and they're going up against the defending champs. This could be one of those indicators, basically, as to whether or not they'll need to get nerfed. But before we do that, why don't you tell the people where we can find you?
Yep. So you can find me in a couple different places. It's really all over the place. So, but first and foremost, I stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/Beowulf. Make sure to go follow me on that. But more importantly, because again, I'm all over the place, follow me on Twitter at Beowulf_SC2 because I'm doing the BJ Destruction Team League this week, which is on the Alpha X Afrika channel at 5 a.m. Eastern, Monday, Tuesday this week. I am doing stuff on Twitch. It's all over the place. Just follow me on Twitter. That's the easiest way to do things. But how about you, Steadfast? Where can they find you?
Same thing. You can follow me on my Twitch, twitch.tv/SteadfastSC. Twitter, twitter.com/SteadfastSC2. Yeah, do ESL Open Cups Mondays. We do the Exxon Cup Wednesdays. If I can get Twitch partner, which I'm really pushing hard for, fingers crossed, yeah. I will be doing a ton more streams, probably a lot more 2-4-hour streams just throughout the week, smattered in whenever I'm not working. But also, make sure to follow this channel right here, CEA, twitch.tv/CEA_SC2. They do a ton of great stuff. They got Overwatch, they've got StarCraft 2, obviously, they got League of Legends, they've got Valorant now, they've got a chess corporate side. There is some really awesome stuff that they're doing, and make sure to follow them on Twitter. Check them out. You can join their Discord. Yeah, they just do a lot of really great stuff, and it's a very cool initiative. And I mean, with that, we're gonna take a quick break, and we will be back for the collegiate side in just a few minutes here.
Sounds good. Don't go anywhere, folks. It's gonna be good.